Mathematics, Ordinary Level, Paper 2, 2023, Part 2. Let's start with question number 4. Find the value of 3x plus 7y when x is 5 and y is equal to 7. Okay, let's first tell you where to find it in the textbook. So you can check in the Part 1 textbook on page 167, and then it will be substitute numbers for words and letters in formula. Okay. So let's start with the question. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are just going to do the substitution, and you will already get a mark for that. So in the place of x, put always bracket. So where you see x, you put a bracket. Where you see y, you put a bracket. And then you rewrite it with that open. You take out y and you replace it with a 7. Okay. And now you can work it out. And you can say it's 15 plus 49. And that's 64. And then your answer, space 6. Don't always forget to write in your answer space. Okay. The next one, factorize. Now, where did we find factorization? Again, I'm going to show you. I went a little bit low there. Okay, so see if we can fit it in here. Okay, so where will I find factorization? It will still be in part 1. And it's factorize, and it's difference, and it's chapter 3, between two squares. Squares, and I'll tell you now the page. And that's, you can look on page 103, and you can look at example 18. Okay, that will help you. Okay, but this is actually a bit more difficult one in the sense, but you will find it in 18, that you must first always try to find out a common factor. So if you take 2 out, I'm just going to change my color to blue. So if I take 2 out as a common factor, I get 25x squared minus 4y squared. Okay. And now I can do my difference between. So it's almost like a first common factor and then go to the difference between two squares. So don't forget to rewrite it, make 2 brackets. And I think what you can do is you can already write it in the answer space to spare time. So it's 2 brackets. One is having a plus, and other one, it doesn't matter. You can also say minus plus. And then it's 5x. And it's 2y, and it's 5x, and it's 2y. And that is your final answer. Okay, so can I just show you? Usually for the substitution and for the answer, and in this case, they will give, if you take out the common factor, and then if you come to that 2 brackets. Okay, and now the next one, so this is an algebraic fraction. Do you see that? Where will you find it? You will also find it in part 1, and it's an algebraic fraction. And it will be on page 110, and it will be example 24. That will help you. Okay, so in this one, what I will just do is, this is just simplifying. So I take out a common factor again. So you take 2 out, and you take the biggest, the smallest, what you see there. So it's x to the power of 2, not only x to the power of 2. Then you divide, and if you divide, then there's 1x left. And if you divide, then there's a y left. And then, again, it's difference between 2 squares. So 2 brackets, one is a plus and the other one is a minus. And then it's almost like I take the square root. It's like the square root there, the square root there. So this is x and this is y. And this is x and this is y. And then I'm cancelling out. Do you see? I can, because it's now one term. I could not cancel out there because it was 2 terms over 2 terms. But now it's 1 term over 1 term. So I cancel out. And that will give me the final answer of 2x squared. You can either say just x minus y, or you can put a bracket. It does not matter. Okay, and I think what they will do is they will give for that factorization and the factorization and then the final step. But let's go to the exam report and look at that 3 questions. Okay, let's look at the report. The majority of the candidates gained full marks in this part question. Excellent. They could easily substitute the values given for the variable and obtain the correct answer. Few that struggle with this question had a common wrong answer with variables that they forgot to take out the x. Do you see? Teachers should encourage candidates to use brackets when substituting values into expressions or equations. Instead of writing this, use brackets. Candidates should be encouraged to instead write it in brackets. And I just want to show you the answer there. Let's just go back. Okay, let's just make it bigger. Okay, so there I substitute and the final answer will be 64. Okay, and we go back to what they say about B. B was the factorization. Although many candidates could score 1 mark for factoring out the common factor of 2, many failed to realize that what they obtained in the bracket was a difference of squares that could be factorized further. Candidates should also be taught that when factorizing, they should not divide and throw away the highest common factor. They must keep it. Some candidates simply divided the expression by 2 throughout and did not recover the 2 afterwards in the working. Okay, so basically what they say is that 2 is very important that it is there at the end. And then you factorize further. Okay, so they gave for the 2 brackets they gave and for that one. Okay, and then the last one. The question proved to be difficult to many candidates, always the fraction. Similar to part B, many candidates failed to realize that the denominator was a difference between 2 squares again that needed to be factorized. Many spoiled the final answer by multiplying the 2 into one of the brackets. But let's just check to see if we are correct. Yes, so we must just go and factorize first, and then at the finals, we can go and cancel out one of the brackets and then we end up with that answer. Okay, let's go back to the question paper. Okay, let's go to the next question. Question number 5. I will see if I reflect a little bit faster to the other side. Okay, so question number 5, it looks like equations. Okay, so where do I find this? And again, I'm just going to do, because every question I write, oh, I don't like a line that's not straight. I love a straight line. Okay, so I just want to show you there, and I want to show you there. Okay, so basically, if I look at this question, I'm just going to say, where do I find it? It's in part 1 and it is equations. And it is on page 124. You can look at example 1. That is a very basic one. Okay, so it's a simple equation. Let's just highlight the like terms. Always grab the sign, and that is like and that. So just get your like terms on the same side. So this is 2x. If this one goes over or to cancel out, you add 2x on both sides, but it goes to the other side as 2x. And this is 5, and I subtract 1. And this is going to be 4x, and 5 minus 1 is 4, and I divide 4, and I divide 4, and the value of x is going to be 1. And they already said x equals, and then just say 1. Okay, I don't like to... Just want to clean this, but then don't repeat x equals. Just check what they wrote already there. Okay, easy one. And I think what you will do in this case, just if coming to this step and then the final answer. Okay, then the next one. Now, don't go and multiply out the brackets. It's actually that I want you to solve it. So it was a quadratic equation that you factorize and now you solve it. So where do you find an example like that in my textbooks? Y equals mx plus c. It's quadratic equations. Quadratic equations. And it's on page 141 and it's example 1. That will help you. So the only thing that you do is it's almost like the final step. So you will just say x minus 3 equals 0, or it was 4 minus x that was 0. Because if that ends at a 0, one of the two brackets was 0. So then I simplify this one. I take it over. I get 3. And this one, just be careful. If I take it over, I get negative 4. And then if I divide, I get 4. So x is equal to 3, or x is equal to 4. And that is your final answer, 3 and 4. And where will you get your marks? So in this case, they gave just for the answers. If you come to a 3 or if you come to a 4. I think I'm just going to go to the exam report before I go on to the next two. So if I go to the exam report. Okay, so this will be question number 5. So we can go on. It's question number 5, A and B that I already did for you. So this part was well answered. Many candidates scored full marks. Those that didn't was because of incorrectly dealing with negative terms of some that had 4 divided 4 equals 0. Okay, let's just see. But the answer was 1. And then the type of question appeared in many past question papers, and yet it was still seen that some candidates still tried to expand the brackets instead of taking each bracket and equating it to 0 and solve. Otherwise, this part was well answered. It is encouraged that teachers follow the competency in the syllabus. So just see what kind of things they are emphasizing. So this was X. No, I'm not. This was 3 or 4. Let's now go back to the question paper. Okay, so if I go back to the question paper, we're still busy there. Now, this is a typical, this is so nice, algebra. I love algebra, and I think it's very important after grade 8 and 9, especially in the first and the second term of grade 10, that you put a lot of work in algebra, because algebra help you in so many topics further on. Okay, so, but let's just do this. This is simultaneous equations. Where will we find it in my textbooks? Y equals mx plus c. It will be simultaneous equations. So it's simultaneous equations. And the method which I'm going to do here is elimination. I think that is the easiest one here. And you will find on page 133 in my textbook, example 13. Okay, so let's look at the question and let's look at the elimination. Okay, so if I look, oh, this is such a nice one, because can you see if I just draw that line, the numbers are the same and the signs are different. It already cancel out. Do you see that? So this is going to just be 7x. It's the most basic one. And I add that up and I got 49. And I divide 7 and I divide 7. And I get that the value of x is 7. But that's only x. I must still get y. How do I get? I rewrite, you can the first or the second equation. It doesn't matter. And then it's going to be 5 and it's 7 minus 3y is equal to 23. So 35 minus 3y is equal to 23. So negative 3y is equal to 23 minus 35. So negative 3y is going to be equal to negative 12. I divide negative 3. I divide negative 3. And the value of y is equal to 4. Okay, I was a little bit close here. Okay, so x is equal to 7 and y is equal to 4. Let's first go to that question on the report. Where will they give the marks? Definitely for one of the answers, but let's go to the report and then we come and fill in the questions. Okay, let's look at the report. Okay, let's first see. Well answered. Some candidates couldn't realize that addition of the two equations would immediately eliminate. So it was a very straightforward one. Okay, so you got the 2. So if you got that 1, so they gave you, and then for the 2 answers. So let's just go and show you on the question paper where you got that. So if I look here, you would have got, and then if you, just by getting that step, they would have gave you already 1 mark. Excellent. Okay, and then let's go for this one. This one is number D. Solve, giving your answer. As soon as they say giving your answer correct to 2 decimal places, you know it cannot factorize. So you must know it is using the formula, the quadratic formula. And where will you find that? You will, so it's solving quadratic equations by using the quadratic formula. And this is also part of that spelling test. It's that one. I'm going to write it here. Negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Memorize it for the examination, please. Okay, it's a very important formula in mathematics. Okay, so not that other formulas is not important, but it's actually, I would say, it's a difficult one. It's almost like the most difficult one on this level. Okay, and it's not going to take, so remember. So I'm first going to write down the formula. I just want to, because I want to do it nice. And it's really, I'm bringing the 18 over, so it's minus 18. Are you with me? Okay, so then this, I'm just showing you, is A. I'd rather take green. Grab that sign, that's B. Grab that sign in front, that's C. So now I'm going to write the formula again. So it's x is equal to negative b plus minus b squared minus 4ac over 2a. I like writing it first down because then I don't make, and then I always do my substitution in brackets. So I take out the b and I replace it with negative 3. Not 3, negative 3. And I do the same. And it's again negative 3 and it's squared. And it's again, the A is 2 and the C, and I think you're going to get already marks for doing that. And it's really not difficult. Okay. And then the A is 2. And now I can start simplifying. So now I'm going to say, okay, this is going to be 3 plus minus, and this is going to be 9. And then if I multiply, just a negative times a negative is a positive. And then 4 times 2 times 18 is 144. And I divide it by 4. Okay. And then I'm going to get 3 plus minus, and now underneath it's 153. And it's over 4. Okay. And now I press on my calculator. 3 plus square root 153. I prefer pressing equal and then divide 4. And then I approximate. You can first write the full calculator. I'm going to write it here. So you can even, I don't think they will mind if you write it here. X is 3,842,3,2,9,2,1, 9. And the other one, I will now approximate, x is equal. So you say 3 minus now, follow the negative road. Square root 153 equals, divide 4 equals. And what do I get if I do that? I'm going to get negative 2.342329219, and then make it's 1 2 3, so it's 3,84. Do you see? And then 1 2 3 negative 2,34, and it's 4 marks. Now, according to me, they will definitely give for the substitution. I think they will give for this, or we can just check, and then for every answer. Let's go to the report, because that's the nice thing about the report. It's telling you everything, where they give you the marks, everything. Okay, so it was unpleasing to see that candidates could not recall the quadratic formula. Many candidates wrote the formula wrong, and this is something that should be corrected in the classroom. Ask that with the spelling test, ask the formulas. Make sure that your students don't, and this is for the teachers, don't use unnecessary marks. Okay, candidates should be encouraged to memorize such basic formula. Many candidates also lost marks for incorrectly substitution into the formula. Again, candidates should be encouraged to make use of brackets when substituting values into equations or expressions. Many had negative which yielded into negative. Okay, so a negative times a negative must be a positive, and using, okay. Wrong formulas such as this were common seen. Okay, so that square root must just be on the top, not at the bottom. Okay, and then as I said to you, what did I give you a mark for? If you substitute in the bracket, and then if you come to, yeah, so actually they gave you for substituting into the bracket, you already got 2 marks. Do you see that? B2 means you already got 2 marks for substituting into that. Wow, and that's not difficult. And then it was 3,84 and negative 2.34. So really, okay, let's go back to the question paper. So basically, if I was reading the report now correctly, it was saying that they would have, this mark, they would have gave you for just doing that correctly, 2 marks. Wow, excellent. Okay, let's go to the next page. And the next page is going to be sets. Okay, so please, it's a very, very short chapter. Put effort into the chapter. It's really not such a difficult chapter. Okay, and where will you find it in the textbook? You will find it at part 1, chapter 2, and that is the Venn diagrams. And I would say there at page 69 to 70, that will really help you. Okay, but let's go. Use the Venn diagram above to list all the elements of the following set. Now, just be careful. Just make sure that you didn't leave out. So the best will be to first check if you see all the numbers. 1, 2, okay, I want to get my pointer. 1, 2, 3, 4, just go 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, let's see, where is 13? I know the 13 is there. I must just find it quickly. 6, 5, 10, 8, 9. Oh, don't miss 13. Do you see? I almost missed it. Okay, 14 and 15. So if I'm going to list it then, I'm going to say it's all the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Sorry, I'm just here a little bit in, but you write a little bit smaller. Okay, and if you listed all the elements, you will just get 1 mark. Now, what does that mean? It means complement, and you will find complement. So complement, you will find it on page 71. Okay, so if you look at complement, so if I cover, it means cover P. It's like I put here and I cover this one and I just write the outside. Okay, so let's do that. So if I'm getting that, the complement of P, and that is going to be, it's going to be 5. It's going to be 6. It's going to be, so 5, 6. It's going to be 7. It's going to be 10. It's going to be 11. And it's going to be 13. Okay. And then the next one, what does this signs mean? Intersection. So the intersection that we will find on page 75. So intersection. Okay. So if I look, so it means what is in M and N. It's what is in M, N, and P. It's this little part here in the middle. So if I look at that and I write that, so M intersection with N intersection with P, and that is going to be 2, 8, and 9. Okay. And then the next one, union, let me just write, union of sets, union. And you will find that on page 73. Okay, so it's M and N. Can I just show you? M and N. So it's all this. Okay, I like to put it numerical. So let's just go, if I say that, M-U-N, union. Just didn't make that U nice. And that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 11, 14, and 15. Okay, what I can do to make sure I have all the numbers, I just want to show you. So what you can do is you can count. So it's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you can check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can just make, just that 11 I didn't write nice. Let me just write it nice and then the comma. Okay. And then the final one, no, it's not the final. So if I look at this one, so in this one, I like to put in between steps. So I would say it's M, union P's complement. Okay, so where is it? So M and it's union P's complement. So it means cover that and it's the outside. Are you with me? So if I would write it here. So if it's going to be the complement of that, so it's going to be M union P. So let's just make sure we have all of them. So it looks like 5. It looks like 7. Okay. M union P. 5, 7, 10, and 13. 10 and 13. Okay, I like to always write. And then this is the intersection with N. So what is N? So N is just the elements of N. So if I just want to get rid of this. Sorry. No, come on. Why are you dropping me? Okay. So basically, now I'm just going to get that all that elements of n, and it's quite a lot. So it's 1, and it's 2, and it's 5, and it's 8, and it's 9, and it's 11, and it's 14. And now I must check what is in both. And the only one that I can see that is in both looks like 5. And so I'm just going to say, okay, so bracket M union P complement intersection N, but that is 5. I think if you just write 5, that will be correct. And then the last one is the number of elements. So number of elements, and that is on page 65, because that N means the number. It means all the elements that you count in the free sets, because it's unions. So if I look here, so all the elements, I'm just start counting, and I can count, doesn't matter where you start. No, but sometimes it's good if you use a pencil and you just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And what is that answer going to be? So that is going to be 12. Oh, sorry, I just want to use the correct color. 12. So I don't think you can just write that in. I don't think they will penalize you if you didn't write the name. But let's go to the report and just check. Okay, so question number 6. So it's on the next page. And we can just check with the comments because all of them was just 1 mark. Okay. The question was well attempted by the candidates. Some that lost marks was simply because they missed one element in the list. So just make double sure. Element 13 was the most unlisted element. I think it's very high and you missed it. Perhaps because of its position in the Venn diagram. Candidates should be helped to understand the difference between listing elements of a set and writing the set bolder notation. Candidates should also be taught to use commas to separate elements in the sets. Similarly, they should be taught to use curly brackets to write their sets. For example, lost marks for writing 12, which made it a set of elements of 12 and not anyone represent the number of elements. So all must be in curly except the last one. Did you see? And you don't have to write the names. As I said, that takes a little bit of the space. But let me just go back and just want to show you, highlight that. So it was not necessary. They are just interested in the curly part. Do you see? And there, let's just see this one. I forgot to put the curly there. Okay, I think it's due to all my names. So that, but this one must not have curly. Are you with me? Because there I count. As soon as you see N, you are just counting. So just make double sure of that. All these videos refer to the y equals mx plus c textbooks, the #1 mathematics textbook used in Namibian schools. For more information on these textbooks, visit the Straight Line Publishing website. All y equals mx plus c to success textbooks are available in the NEET catalogue of the Ministry of Education. Schools can order these using their yearly budget for textbooks, with the process typically starting mid-year. Make sure your learners have a copy of the y equals mx plus c mathematics textbook used by the top schools in Namibia in front of them in 2025. A final point. If you are in the position, I want to encourage you to buy your own personal copy of the y equals mx plus c mathematics textbook. These textbooks are available at the following bookshops. Remember, success in mathematics comes from hard work, perseverance, and the courage to face challenges head on. Good luck with your final 2024 examination.